Hey there folks, and how are we doing today? Today we're going to use Barrister and Man Syrian, and as you know I named Barrister and Man as one of my top 6 best artisan soaps, and I'm going to go ahead and load it up. This is a very old soap, a couple of years old at least, and it still smells great. I recommend Barrister and Man. Now, like I said in the video the other day, the scents sometimes are, for me, not my favorite, but they do have a good and plenty scents that I do like, or plenty of scents that I like, I should say. So even if you don't like some of the darker, more, I don't know, Barrister Man does stuff that no one else does. They can come out with some really unique scents, but they have a lot of scents I think that would have broad appeal as well, and the quality of the soap I think is just top notch. So I do recommend you try Barrister and Man and find some scents that you like, and it'll be soap that performs very well for you for a very long time, I believe. I also wanted to get a couple of other things off my chest here. Product reviews are coming, so thank you for requesting that, and I am going to get back to more product stuff. I'm still going to talk about, life, but I am going to talk about products too, because I realize a good many of you come for that, and I like to talk about it. So good creamy lather. We'll definitely get back on track with some product reviews. Another thing I want to ask you folks, my good friend Don the Navy Goat is in the hospital, and right now he's not well. So I would ask, if you're so inclined, please say a prayer for Don and send him some good vibes, because he needs those. So please, a prayer for Don, if you would, please. Secondly, let me wet my face, and we'll talk about my conversation with Jammin' James yesterday. Stand by. Jammin' James is one of my favorite people in the hobby. He's a good man. He's a religious man. He talks about that sometimes in his videos, and I like people who stick up for what they believe in, even when sometimes it's not popular. And James is one of those individuals. His faith is a huge part of who he is, and he, conveys that. Not all the time, not every video. He doesn't Bible thump every video, but he does talk about it from time to time, and so it was good to talk to him. And one of the things that James asked that I do was to reopen the comments, because he feels it gives people an opportunity to just say thank you for the video, and so, and let me explain why I closed the comments while I do the pass here. This is a black handle super speed using a Rapira blade. Rapira blades work pretty well so far, so we'll see how it goes on shave number 3 here. Anyway, the reason that I turned off the comments really had nothing to do with trolling at all, although some people thought that that was the reason why, because I didn't want to listen to criticism. That's just not the case, because I provided my email at the end of the video, and anybody who wanted to make a criticism can do it all day long on email. The reason that I turned off comments was because I always felt if people comment on your video, you should try to respond. And when I got very busy with all the things going on with my family, with all the illness and the things at work and everything else, I turned it off because I knew there was no way that I was going to be able to respond to every comment. And I didn't want to come across like, oh, he's too good to respond to my comment, because you took the time to watch the video, and I always felt it was the least I could do to try to respond. And it became very difficult to keep up with those responses. And sometimes YouTube wouldn't even let you post a response, interestingly enough. And so I felt people would get the wrong idea that I didn't appreciate them watching, and I didn't take the time to comment, and that just wasn't the case. Stand by and I'll discuss it more. So anyhow, so I turned off the comments and gave my email address, which is tsevangelist@live.com, for anybody who wants to who has a question they want answered. I turned off the comments because I didn't want people to think I was big timing him. Oh, he's too big. He doesn't have time for us. That's just not the case. But the way the comment system works and the way they changed it, it was truly nearly impossible to keep up with. It's not that I didn't want to. So Jam and James really feel strongly. I should turn that back on, and you know, just so people could even talk back and forth with each other about the video. And I hadn't really considered that, to be honest. So I'm going to do that, but with a caveat. If you want me to respond, if you desire a response, if you really want me to see what you're trying to convey, email me. I'm going to make a point of this. I'm going to try to in every video. I will open up the comments for you guys, but if you want me to respond to you directly, please email me and I will respond, because the email comes right to my phone, iPad, computer, you know, whatever, and I can respond. In the comment section, most likely I won't, because I simply cannot keep up with it. Sometimes Google won't even let me respond to you, and that became a source of frustration. Now, it did have the unintended effect of keeping trolls away, because evidently trolls are lazy. They don't take the time to email you. You know, and on those I probably would have just deleted anyway, because I just don't care. But so I will open up the comments, but please, 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 if you expect me to respond, or if you really have a legitimate question that you want answered, shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to respond in the best way that I can, and as quickly as I can. I try to get to it within a day or so. And a lot of people have taken advantage of that. A lot of people email. You know, it's not, the numbers aren't as high as the comments, obviously, because it takes some time to, you know, write an email. You gotta put the address in. So, you know, not as many, but the questions that do come in are legitimate, and I answer, and I appreciate that. So email me if you want a response. Stand by, we'll come back for pass 3. I was also talking messy today, as always. I was talking to the inspector last night, and Pete Scavone, I'll call him Baloney Scavone because it's just got a good ring to it, and Ray Pope. And one of the things they mentioned, which I never even noticed, is I always start here with the lathering, whereas most people start on their cheek. And I never even noticed that, but the inspector notices everything. That's why we call him the inspector. So I usually start down in here and then go up here, whereas most people start here. And you know about some of the famous moves from some of the shavers. The Stallion made the Stallion brush pump famous, and then when we pointed it out, he quit doing it. I know he says he didn't, but he did. He used to do this number, and he also made famous the Tennessee Tuxedo, which is a good move. You know, I don't know that I really have any moves. I do a lot of painting because, you know, once you sort of get the lather on your face, you can spread it out evenly with the painting. In the thick spots, it thins it and makes it more consistent. So, and on most every brushes, or most all brushes, I should say, or most of the brushes, you'll notice that it says to paint for the most part. That is, in my opinion, the best way to distribute the lather. See, we're getting a good, even consistency. Leroy, stop with all that tomfoolery. Anyway, I think it just evens out the lather. Make sure you have good, consistent lather. And this Barrister Man, let me tell you, the lather is phenomenal. It's very creamy. It's very slick. Feels good on the skin. It is truly a top-level performer in my estimation. By the way, not to belabor the point, but these vintage razors, how could I have been so wrong? And I don't know what clicked or how it clicked. I'm just not sure, but just, you know, after the continual use, I just said, hey, these guys are really hitting the spot. And prior to that, I was like, you know, I don't like the heads. They don't do a good job. And there are a lot of people who say that, by the way. I think Busta's one. He doesn't like the excuse me, the heads, and but all of a sudden it's just like it clicked when I just kept using that Fat Boy. And so, boy, you know, I was stupid, and I mean it, to have sold a bunch of very nice vintage razors twice. And I have some that I picked up recently that I'm going to sell because I got better ones. Like I found a Delta Echo on a Leroy. Quit all that nonsense. I like the Delta Echo look. I think it'll probably, you know, preserve the razor for a long time, for years to come. Now, the purist will probably say you're bastardizing the razor. It should be original, and that's okay, but I'm not collecting razors. These are razors for me to use. So, I have a Slim that I polished up. It looks pretty good. I'll probably put up, and a couple of other razors to make room for the incoming, you know, vintages that I have coming in. And also, my name finally came up on the list for Wolfman. Stand by on that. Let me rinse the face. We'll come back and talk about that. Okay, so look at the mess I've made, which is normal for me. There's great stuff. Love it. Magic is made by witches. Very good stuff. Anyway, my name came up on the Wolfman list, which has been there since, I don't know, May or June, before he raised prices. And you know, I'm conflicted about buying expensive gear, as I told you a couple of weeks ago, because these razors, on a performance level, do the same thing. But it was at the previous price, so I couldn't pass it up. I wanted the standard head instead of the OC, so it came up, and you know, I had that one coming. We'll see how that goes. I really love the craftsmanship of the Wolfman's razor. It is tremendous. Does it shave any better than this? I don't know. Maybe not, but it feels great in your hand, and it's just one of those things. It's kind of like a watch. You know, you can buy a $20 Walmart watch, and it'll do the same thing as a $1,000 Swiss watch. It tells the time, but when you have that expensive watch, you know, it just feels nice, looks nice. But I'm always conflicted about spending a lot of money. It just, something in me never feels right about it. But at the same time, I do get the difference in experience. You just feel better about it. It looks better. It's better to hold. So that's what I think you get from an expensive razor. Plus the craftsmanship is top notch. It's stainless. It's going to last forever. You know, more or less. So speaking of something that's not expensive, RazoRock Baby Blue, which I happen to like. It doesn't stick around a ton. So this is a good aftershave, I think, for like if you really want to slather it on Inspector Fernicola style. You can really let it rip with this aftershave. With really, you know, you don't have to worry about overpowering everybody. You know, going into the office and leaving a trail down a 50-yard hallway. I don't think you really have to worry so much about this. It will stick around a little while, but I don't think it hangs around for hours and hours. But it feels nice, and I think I paid $20 for it. And this is 400 milliliters. It's a big old bottle, and I like RazoRock aftershaves. I find to be a really nice value. And for me, you know, I know that just the alcohol and fragrance and all that's not great for the skin, but really I feel that it helps my skin because my skin tends to be oily. So it sort of helps keep that at bay. It works beautifully for my skin type. So anyhow, I want to thank you guys as always for watching. Remember, the comments will be open, but if you want a response, send an email to tsevangelist@live.com. I very well may not respond to the comments, so don't look for a response. Email me if you want a response. Thanks so much, and please keep Don the Navy Goat in your prayers.